After Piccolo kidnapped Gohan to train him to defeat his uncle, the alien invader known as Raditz, whose patience is running thin to find the heroes of Earth, the boy finally got a glimpse at his own hidden power. At the same time, the other heroes of Earth have been summoned by Kami to be trained at the Lookout. But for now, they have an even scarier threat to overcome before the Saiyans. Recruit the like button to join Frieza's army with promises it'll be the best decision of its young life, only to let it gradually find out all recruiters lie. Shout out to Apple720 Gotti and Xanthia for being the first two to find the stone hidden in the last video. Find it today and comment the timestamp if you want a shout out in the next. In shock, Krillin can't even get out a coherent sentence. Yajirobe babbles on. He said he didn't want to fight those whatchamacallit aliens, but Korin, his function finally braining. The Kami student shouts they will be there, all of them, right away. Having done what he was supposed to do, the swordsman turns to leave, before remembering something he forgot. Informing the gang, Korin said not to bring Goku back to life until the bad guys get here. Shocked yet again, Bulma inquires why. To which he casually informs, mind you incorrectly, Goku's training in hell, and to ask the old witch if they want to know more. Not hesitating to get out of here, Yajirobe's presence leaves our heroes in silence. They wonder why he would be training in hell of all places, when Krillin notices Yajirobe's car coming back into view for some reason. But the scientist can already tell that's not him. It's a very gleeful Ox King and a very not gleeful Chi-Chi. So they will have to find a way to break the news one way or another. Ox bows to give his former master a proper greeting, asking how he is since it's been so long. With something else on his mind, the old man stutters he's, fine. He's fine. Meanwhile, Bulma and Krillin cower in fear at the Mother Hawk. Clutching her wrists, she places both arms on her hips to appear as intimidating as possible, as she loudly squawks for her young, wondering if her mate took him elsewhere, causing Roshi to finally decide to fill her in. Which the pair have a predictable reaction to. Ox beckons what Goku is doing during this. The old-timer reveals he was dying, mostly. And so, our heroes begin training under the watchful eyes of Kami-sama. Weeks pass as we check in on Raditz. After scooping up a handful of water, he clicks a scouter. It lets out a pathetic pew. Its battery is getting low, and the Saiyan knows it won't last much longer. Cursing every time he gets close, the Earthlings run and hide. But picking up on something, he at least has a chance to catch him. On the other side of the planet, the young Gohan grabs his stomach with hunger pains, then notices it's nighttime. But why is it so bright out? Looking over his shoulder to find the moon. This is the first time he's ever seen it so full.
What's going on?
Finally! I found them! About time I've had some luck! This time they won't get away! And on such a perfect night! With the two Azarus locked in battle, Piccolo frantically wonders what's going on, aware of the destructive power they're imposing. At this rate, the Earth will be destroyed. He then remembers back to a conversation the two brothers had, where Raditz mentions Saiyans can exhibit their true powers when the moon inscribes a complete circle.
That's it! The moon! Be gone!
With the satellite being destroyed, the pair turn back to normal. Raditz takes satisfaction in seeing his nephew's tail isn't all for show after all, possibly believing he would lack the ability to transform being only a half Saiyan. He doesn't know how to use that power properly yet. The alien then bends down to grab the child, before he whips his head towards Piccolo, commanding he not move. The Saiyan announces it's time the two of them had a chat. Though tossing off his weighted clothes, the dynamic shouts he not think it's going to be as easy as last time. Raditz bluntly tells him he doesn't care, as he is hardly the Earth's biggest concern at the moment. Diving in head first, he explains whether he believes it or not. Yours truly is just the warm-up. His two comrades are on their way to this planet as they speak. If he wants to survive, his only option is to do as he says and to help him. Otherwise, they are both dead in a year. Piccolo fairly questions if they are his comrades. Shouldn't the three of them be working together? Asking what kind of trick this is. Keeping it casual, Raditz merely wants to say they had a falling out, and the warrior here should consider himself lucky. Most worlds have no warning before Saiyan attack.
I've no reason to trust you!
Not so cocky now. Farewell.
Don't count on it!
You think that's enough to beat me? To beat Vegeta? Slamming Piccolo to the ground, the Saiyan bellows the others overpower himself in every way, and he thinks he can beat him alone, drawing back his fist. He then shouts they will kill everyone who gets in their way, and if he won't help him, the brat will. But he doesn't intend to die tonight. Nearly taking the head off Raditz's shoulders, the Saiyan jumps back, even complimenting the Namekian. That was actually a bit clever, and if they ally together, they might have a chance. But the demon still has no desire to believe a word of his story, knowing there must be a way to kill him, when a voice commands him to stop. Kame, who tells Piccolo he mustn't kill the Saiyan, as he speaks the truth. And while his other half barks the Guardian stay out of his way, he cannot. Informing a grave threat approaches the Earth. If nothing is done, he fears this world, and all of its life will be destroyed. Imploring Piccolo work with the Saiyan, and it is indeed Earth's greatest hope for survival. Coming around, Piccolo asks if he should believe the Saiyan. What's to stop his allies? Talking over him, Raditz affirms he is not allies with Nappa and Vegeta anymore. Continuing, the Namekian questions what's to keep him from turning and killing everyone once they arrive. Though the Saiyan is honest and admits nothing, but he can guarantee Piccolo's death tonight if he refuses. Moving on, Raditz now inquires what about the boy? Ripping off his tail, the Namek explains the child's potential is great, though it seems the tail is a weakness, much to the dismay of his uncle. Initially, he had planned to leave him to fend for himself in the wild, though some garments and a blade seem needed now. Observing, the Saiyan takes interest in his ability to make clothes. Gohan is given an outfit just like his father's, but with his own symbol, to send a message out of sorts. Any questions? Fine, by me! Yeeting Gohan into the next area code. Raditz notes how Saiyans are sent out on their own when they're young, so this isn't too different. Though the Namek has concerned he may have thrown him a bit too far. The other alien, assures he'll be fine. Who mostly is. Donning new attire, Raditz states Piccolo will have to explain how he and Kakarot were able to find him without a scouter, who figures as long as this truce holds, an exchange of information only seems fair, though he expects the same from him.
Right.
So, what's a Namekian doing on Earth?
A what?
As for Gohan, a hungry scorpion eyes him for lunch, causing the boy to run back to the jungle, screaming he doesn't want to be in the desert. And thus, his training continues. And before long, he looks like a pro, able to effortlessly toy with even dinosaurs. While above, his two mentors peer in. They take notice how he seems to be getting the survival thing down, so they decide it's time to really test him, landing just behind the boy, who's mowing away at some tail steak. But this being the first time he's encountered his uncle since the kidnapping, he doesn't take kindly to him showing his face around him. Wielding a sword, he screams he will kill him. However, the Saiyan is able to easily subdue him. While he tries to wriggle free, Raditz takes solace in seeing at least there is now some fight in him this time around. Piccolo tries to calm him down by telling Gohan that's enough. The circumstances have changed. But he's not listening, even biting down on his captor's hand. Mid-gnaw, he hisses this is the guy who killed his dad. Growing a bit deterred, the Namekian questions if Raditz is having a little trouble restraining him, who quips this would have been a lot easier had he left his tail on. Piccolo eventually reaches out to get his attention, also shouting for him to listen. He tells his uncle is no longer the problem, though Gohan bellows he is not his uncle. The Namek could care less about his feelings either way, but for the next 6 months, the two of them will be the child's teachers, as they must prepare for an even greater threat, one far worse than his uncle. This revelation actually gets his attention. What training could be in store for him after surviving for 6 months on his own? And will Raditz be able to bring anything additional that Piccolo alone can't? And as luck would have it, Goku arrives at King Kai's planet around the same time, eager to receive some training of his own after such a long journey. And with Kami, he announces to the fighters of Earth they have now surpassed him. There's nothing more himself or Mr. Popo can teach him. He instructs they return to the lower world and refine their skills until the final confrontation, bluntly leaving the future to them. 4 of the 5 respond in the formal manner, as Yajirobe just wants to lose the weighted shirt. What more can the Z Fighters do to prepare for the alien invasion?